So Tyson Fury, and this is my defence of AJ. Everyone's saying AJ's a bum, he says he's that, he can't fight because lost a few. But AJ has made it in life. The man can go to the pub every single day and drink PARODY if he wants to. He can go on holiday every day. He can play with his kids every day of his life. So I don't want to hear any more of this bullshit about AJ says he's that, he's useless, he can't fight. The man's made it. Be happy for him.
So we just heard there from your mans, Tyson. Oh, Fury gassing the place up. Mr. Flip Flop hypocrite have an ass, yeah? Mr. Hot and Cold have an ass, 100%. Anyway, before we go on to my reaction, let's shout out my doggy Ian Wilson for coming through and keeping the coin boosted at all times. Told you before, your man the YB coin is like your seatbelt on an airplane, must remain boosted, 100%. Now, back to the task at hand here. Let's deal with this Fury cat. Now, you man who follow my channel will know that you can call it what you want. Oh, YB here, flip-flopper. Again, call it what you want. What we know is I fell out of Fury in the AJ era. The AJ era really was 2015, 2016 until about 2020 at best, really. 2019 probably. The real main bulk of the AJ era was 2015-16 to 2019. That's really the bottom line. Yeah? And in that period I was a strong AJ fan. 100%. And it just so happens, also in that period, Fury was acting weird. I don't care what anyone says. The facts are, Fury was offered the AJ fight, so was Wilder, and they both, for whatever reason, decided to go the other route. Yeah, that's just what it was. And it also in that period, Fury has acted weird in other situations. For example, he had a contractual obligation with Deontay Wilder to do the third fight. Instead of just doing it and letting the division crack on, I mean, we could have had the undisputed fight 2 years ago. But instead, Fury decided to be caught up in the courts for literally 18 months, and it just, all these little things add up. Then he pulled out with some fake news, C19, a whole bunch of stuff. Oh yeah, the other thing was, of course, in 2020, whilst he was delaying the Wilder trilogy for the whole legal reasons thing, or whilst he was legally holding up the Wilder trilogy, yeah, in that same period, don't forget people, he was at the same time trying to allegedly make the AJ undisputed fight. So it's all, the point is, people, to be quite frank, up until relatively recently, Fury's been messy in my opinion. The way Fury has conducted his business has been messy. However, what you'll know if you follow my channel is recently, or up until this last week or two, yeah, Fury's won me around. Why? Because whatever we say about Fury is, he gets it done in the ring. That don't excuse what you do outside of the ring. Yeah, if you're a clown outside of the ring, what you do in the ring is great, but when the stuff you do outside of it is when you start doing too much of the stuff outside, it just drags it down. And unfortunately, that's where we're finding ourselves. Well, that's where I'm finding myself right now with Tyson Fury, yeah. Like I said, to be quite honest with you, back in 2013, I originally came to the sport of boxing mainly because of Fury. Truth be known, back in 2012, 2013, that was my first initial attraction. Yeah? And then AJ came along and Fury fell off the wagon allegedly. And the point is, Fury is like this, up and down. Or from my perspective, he ebbs and he flows. Yeah, he peaks and he troughs. I don't understand why he can't just be consistent. And that's what it comes down to, really. When you look at Fury's career, it has a lack of consistency. Yeah? 2015, he drops off. He comes back. Fights Wilder. Great. Beats Wilder. Supposed to have a third fight trilogy. Drops off the map again for 2 years. That was the bottom line. He fought Wilder in February 2020, and then it took best part of 2 years to fight Wilder again. And there was no need for that. Yeah? Fury goobers say, oh, no, YB, no. It was YB, there was a little thing called C19. Had nothing to do with that. AJ fought in that time. UFC were fighting every month. So don't give me that C19 thing. If Fury had wanted to fight, he could have fought. He didn't for whatever reason. Like I said, a lack of consistency. And now, where do we find ourselves? Yeah? I was just coming around, not like it makes a difference to him, but I'm just saying, people, you man know, or you should know by now, when I say I'm coming around, that means the truth's coming around. The truth is, the truth or the people's vibe, was starting to turn onto Fury again. It was easy to be part of what it was, He go in there, he smoke Wilder. He go in there, he smoke Dillian White. That's something you can buy into, bottom line. You can't argue with that. That's something that you want to be part of. And then immediately after, rather than taking that lovely flame he'd worked hard to erect or to light, he then start coming with the whole, I'm retired and let's play the retirement game I've been playing for 10 years. Who wants to hear that? No one wants to hear that. And again, but YB is allowed to do, if he needs to retire, he needs to retire. Fine, retire, drop the belt. But he don't want to do that, which is the point. He playing games. And then, this week we hear, I want to fight 4. Just, again, goober behaviour, In the ring, great. Outside of the ring, funny style. And then, on top of that, this for me is almost like 2 strikes right now. The whole 4 thing and the whole retirement thing, that's 1 strike in my book. They're both dead plays. And no one trying to hear about Fury in 4. Super messy, super all over the place. And now, like I said, we hear this one. Fury, the man who made up Mr. Anthony Johnson being a useless, pumped up weightlifter, is now flip-flopping in true Tyson Fury fashion. And trying to, He's trying to come across like he's the almighty, He's the almighty dude who's gonna convince people to do the right thing. Of all the people who might want to say back off, Tyson Fury will be the last person anyone should take advice about letting off someone. He's the one who made up, listen, if there's one guy in the whole planet, who made up having a go on Anthony Johnson, there'd be 2 names that come into mind. Tyson Fury and the YB. They're the only 2 cats, in the world who are renowned for having a go on Mr. Anthony Johnson. So I find it's like me coming out and saying, obviously Fury is a whole complete different level, complete different stratosphere to me, but still. Imagine if I started coming out and saying, everyone needs to let off AJ. It's like, what? You made up having a go on AJ. That's a fact. That's just what it is. Give me a name. Give me a bigger name than Tyson, or give me any name, smaller or bigger, that gets on Anthony Johnson more than Tyson Fury, historically. It just seems to me like Fury is trying to do everything. And of course, the Fury Man fans will be, no, this doesn't affect his legacy at all. And obviously, it might sound this is somewhat trivial, the fact that Fury's sucking AJ off now, but still, from a legacy point of view, it's almost like he's doing everything to try and, half of his legacy, well, not legacy, I know legacy is more than just what you say, and it's more to do what you do, but still, part of people who lived it, for years to come, 20 years from now, we should be able to look back and say, wow, man, do you remember them days when Fury would ride AJ? Why is he trying to undo it all? I don't get that. It's really odd. You built a legacy of riding AJ. Now, you're potentially close to fighting him, and you're unwheeling it all. Same as the whole Dillian White thing. Both men in that occasion. Both men for years. I'm going to knock Dillian White out as a bum. Dillian White said Tyson Fury's got no legs and he's chinless. The fight comes, and they're tickling each other's nipples and smiling and laughing. I don't get it, man. These are the great legacy-defining moments. Like I said, Tyson Fury is one of the... Bear in mind, people, especially in the UK, or especially in heavyweight boxing. Yes, you've got Wilder, but for the most part, if we're honest, it was always Fury and AJ. That was the one. Fury and AJ. Bottom line. And that now... Even if it does happen, it's like, who wants to... I don't even really want to watch it now. Just from this little thing here, this turns me off. Because for years, we thought that Fury really wanted it with AJ. Now he's turned into Gandhi himself. I don't know what kind of agenda this is, but why is everyone trying to suck each other off these days? What's wrong with saying, listen AJ, fair play, do what you're doing, but you're a pumped up weightlifter. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with letting it... Leave it out there. Let it simmer. What's wrong with that? Why has everyone got to walk everything back, and why has everyone got to... Why is everyone, no matter what you're in, as in, Fury is a heavyweight boxer, If there's ever an industry that doesn't need to walk back their former statements, or doesn't need to clarify things, or doesn't need to be PC, or doesn't need to be it's like Tyson Fury's Anthony Johnston's mental health advocate. Oh, well, I've been working with AJ. Yeah, he's checked into my mental health clinic, and I'm representing AJ. What? Who cares? Who cares how AJ feeling from your point of view? If anyone shouldn't care about how AJ's feeling, it should be Tyson Fury. Bottom line, yeah. All he should be worrying about is filling him in some more. Yeah, I'm glad AJ down bad because I'm fixing to have another go on him. On top of that, yeah. If I was Tyson Fury, never mind this video. The video you would have heard would have been of me saying, "Listen, AJ. The good thing or the positive light of the situation you find yourself in is the fact that at least you know you ain't hit rock bottom yet, because you ain't fought me yet, yeah? Yeah? AJ, you best enjoy how you're feeling right now, because by the time I finish with you, you're gonna, 100%. I'm gonna show you your life has many more levels to fall. Yeah, so enjoy it now, because you're on top." That's what Fury should be saying. Fury should be saying to AJ, "Listen, AJ, man, to where you're gonna be after I finish with you, you best this is the height. This next year before you fight me, yeah, is going to be the highlight of your life because you're finished after I finish with you." That's what you should be saying. Instead, and it's that whole I don't know. It seems to be this whole celebrities in general love to suck each other off. That's what it must be. Yeah, they all got celebrities are their own little shtick now. It almost feels like they've got their own little thing together. You always hear him say, "Oh, he can do anything. He can retire. He don't have to work like the rest of you bums." Do you know, that's what it's become now. Even though AJ and Fury have been arch enemies, because they're in the celebrity class together, it's that unbreakable class. Yeah. No matter what anyone else thinks, we're always going to be cabal of celebrity friends. That's what this message tells me. Yeah. Because if there was one thing I would bet on before hearing this from Fury, it would be that Fury loves to have a go on AJ. Do you know what I'm saying? As far as UK heavyweight boxing goes, tell me one statement that you can take to the bank. Fury loved to have a go on AJ. That's just what innit? Give me another statement. What statement are you more sure of? Fury for literally a decade has been having a go on AJ. And then we got this video. Instead, giving AJ a sloppy toppy. What's that about? I don't understand it. Everyone trying to be friends these days. It just turns everyone off. I don't care for it now. I barely cared for the Dillian White fight. Don't get me wrong. Going into it, I was, wow, yeah. Finally we get the. But really, what happened in there? The Dillian White fight. The build-up was trash. The build-up was one of the worst build-ups in the history of the game, especially when you think about the expectation. Not being funny, I just watched Clarissa Shields versus Marshall. That presser, that was one of the better ones I've seen for the last few years, to be honest. Real bad intentions from both people. That's all we ask for. After all, it's a fight, is it not? You're not playing tic-tac-toe together. You're not playing golf. Yeah? And I said the other day, to be quite honest with you, I've seen F1 drivers. F1 drivers have more kind of that competitive disdain than the boxers do these days. Yeah? For example, when Lewis Hamilton lost to Max Verstappen last year in controversial circumstances, you never heard Max saying, both people was pissed off at each other, and rightfully so. That's what you're supposed to do. And boxing used to be the pinnacle of that. Yeah, if there was ever a sport where people would make it clear that, you know what I'm saying? People would make it clear that letting their ops know what time it is, it'd be boxing. These days, though, oh no, it's boxing and we're all going to be friends. Like I said, people take the piss out of football and other sports for being soft, but really, boxing at the moment is one of the softest ones going in terms of the bad blood between competitors. Yeah, show me a picture. Show me where you've seen Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen tickling each other's nipples and having a great. You just don't see it. It's mad. And these guys, Verstappen and Hamilton, or whoever you want, they haven't historically had as much bad blood as Dillian White and Fury. Yeah, Dillian White and Fury was one of the peakest beefs. Same as Tyson Fury versus AJ, one of the most peakest beefs going. But here we are, everyone trying to be friends. What's that about? I don't get it. Yeah, oh well, what? And if Fury's actually retired, it makes more sense, because you can say, well, his Fury's transcended the sport bickering. But like I said, before he retired, he was doing this weird stuff with Dillian Whyte. Has he grown up? Maybe, I don't know, maybe. Is that what it is? Is that what growing up is? You just start sucking everyone off? Maybe. Listen, if that's what growing up is, fair play to him. That's what we'll call it. If growing up just means you suck everyone off no matter what happens, then fair play. Yeah, but anyway, last thing I'll say is, I mentioned earlier about the whole celebrity thing. Yeah. That to me is cringe city as well. Oh, well, we're all rich and we can all retire. And I don't get why. We all know you're rich. I mean, do you think that's one of the key problems with AJ? One of the key reasons, if you really want to know Tyson, one of the key reasons the fans love punking AJ is because they feel they've been robbed. Yeah, we've put a huge amount of capital and investment into AJ. Yeah, we know he's been paid handsomely. You don't need to remind us of that. But what do we get back? That's a true question. And that's what I don't understand. These celebrities seem to think, okay, the fans have put me where I am, or got me to where I am, or funded where I am. Because, yeah, they do the hard work. I'm not being funny, yeah. I've been to sport at a certain level. And I can tell you now, being a sports person is easier. There's nothing harder in life, yeah. Of course, no one's going to make a documentary about you going to work at night. You know what I mean? No one's going to make a documentary of you getting up at 7:30 in the morning to start a day at work 5 days a week for the next 50 years of your life. There ain't a documentary about that, but we'll see documentaries about AJ getting up to go to the gym and train. The point is, they won't admit that. Sports people these days like to be put on a pedestal. Oh, I work so hard and I'm working so hard and look at me sweating and all that kind of stuff. But in reality, I tell you this for free, a 9-to-5 job or doing a job is the hardest thing you can ever do in life. Sport is fun, bottom line. Yeah, anyone who tells you that, it's really hard, are lying to you. Yeah, there isn't one sportsman who would rather be doing what you're doing. So the real heroes, or the real hard work, is getting up and doing shit you don't want to do. Most sports people do what they love to do. So don't give me that. You get paid, right there, you get paid loads of money to do shit you love to do. And we're supposed to what? Celebrate that. Oh, AJ's retired and he don't have to do anything again. And that's good for him, but what does that do for us? Yeah? We're the ones who put him in that situation. If it were, the coins didn't come from nowhere. We're the ones who got him in a situation where he can now do what he wants for the rest of his life. Yeah? And the least he can do is, number one, put some effort in, or number two, F off. And don't be all in the video trying to collect more coins, despite delivering no value. And yeah, I've told you before, I do blame the fans. Have to take responsibility here, because they're the ones who keep funding it. I've told you, no one should buy an AJ pay-per-view ever again. Same as Dillian Whyte. What for? What are you paying for? You're paying for a dude to not turn up to the press conference. When he does turn up, he's weird and moist. We've heard 10 years of beef from Dillian against Fury, and the one time he's in front of him, he's trying to tickle and have jokes, and then gets knocked out with one punch after doing nothing for 7 rounds. I ain't sponsoring that. Same as AJ. Yeah, go in there, have a sparring session with Usyk, and then say, I hope the fans are happy about seeing that, after getting mollywopped in front of your home crowd. I ain't trying to watch that. Yeah? So that's why, I'm sorry, Fury, certain people who have IQ, people who aren't celebrity man fan, liquor offers, yeah? People who aren't celebrity man fan, liquor offers, ain't gonna back AJ and suck him off into retirement. Or suck him off. Oh, AJ's rich and famous, so yeah, everyone should be happy about that. No, we're not happy about that. I'm happy for anyone who becomes rich and famous, yeah, and does so providing value. AJ hasn't done that for years. He's milked value. Normally, it's supposed to be a fair transaction, yeah? I'd say Fury versus Wilder 1 and 2 and 3 were fair transactions, especially 2 and 3. Yeah, both men put their human capital into the fight, and they got handsomely rewarded. Can't argue with that. No one complaining about that. AJ, what's he really giving back? What's he giving back? Yeah, okay, he got mollywopped against Ruiz, and then shit his pants and ran around for 12 rounds. That's not investing himself, is it? Investing himself would have been saying, and don't forget people, we backed AJ on the basis that he was the tank. Yeah, that's what we invested in. People didn't invest in him being twinkle toes. They didn't. Yeah? The reason people turned up and filled up stadiums and filled up pay-per-views was on the premise that he was a tank. And that's a key reason, again, people paid for the Ruiz rematch in record numbers. We thought, okay, AJ had a bad night. He's going to double down on his whole history. His whole history has had nothing to do with Twinkle Toes. Yeah? So surely he's going to go away and become a better version of what he's been doing. No. He completely rewrote the book and learned how to become Twinkle Toes against Mr. Blobby. Yeah? Didn't double down on himself and abandoned everything we'd invested in AJ up until 2019. He threw out the window into the rematch. Yeah? He flipped the script. And what did we get? We got Mr. Fanny around. Mr. Run around in circles. Yeah? Mr. Run away from Mr. Blobby. Embarrassing. So that's why we ain't overjoyed to hear that AJ got low. We don't need to be reminded, because that money came from us. We're the ones who got him there. And now you're rubbing it in our face. Oh yeah, everyone must suck AJ off. Everyone must continue to suck AJ off, because not only has he taken all your money, he's also given you nothing for it. What have we got for it? Yeah, we give AJ all this money, and in return, we get him playing tic-tac-toe with Usyk on home soil. Yeah, he was supposed to run Usyk out of the UK. Instead, he invited him in and gave him and put his butt in the air. And Usyk came along and went pop. Yeah, that's what happened. Popped him right in the butt. Yeah, simple as that. Oops. No doubt.